transparency with your spouse, even if you're going to divorce them, is the best, if that's possible.
How is COVID-19 affecting families and more specifically divorces in the United States? Well, that's what we're going to ask the lawyer today. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com, and my guest is family law attorney Sam Bassett from Austin, Texas. Sam, thank you for making some time to answer our questions today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So what are you hearing so far? How do you think couples, parents, relationships are faring during this time of COVID-19?
Well, it's a little bit of an awkward time for families because people who usually travel for work are not traveling. Couples that sometimes spend a lot of time together don't spend a lot of time together, are now spending a lot of time together, and it exposes some of the conflicts at times. So the family law practice has continued at a pace that's fairly steady compared to sometimes the ups and downs of when things are normal without a COVID crisis.
Right. What would your advice be for somebody who maybe is having some issues, maybe struggling, maybe thinking about divorce, particularly during this COVID-19 time?
I do think it's important to talk to a lawyer before you make the decision, absent a huge crisis going on or violence or something like that. But if you're considering divorce, it's always wise to talk to a lawyer, in my opinion, before you make that decision, so you can understand what you're facing going into it. The problem is it's a very difficult emotional time to face that kind of a decision, and the legal component is just one component.
If someone's thinking about divorce, should one of the parents move out of the marital home while the process is going on? What's your advice there generally?
It's very difficult to remain in the same home once a divorce is filed and is ongoing. I have some clients that are able to do that. The majority, however, it's just not a very healthy environment, especially if there are children there and there's ongoing conflict. But it's important for the lawyers and the parties to work together to fashion a situation where two residences can be established out of one, and that's not always easy.
And especially if there's children involved, to try and figure out, to put your personal feelings aside and do what's best for the children sometimes can be difficult.
Yes, the children obviously are going to be wondering what's happening, and it's important to get some professional advice on how to communicate the divorce to your children as well.
Are the courts in Texas open right now for divorce or child custody and that sort of thing? Where do we stand?
Accessibility is a little different, but they are open. The in-person hearings are much more rare now because of the virus, but we are adapting and having video conference hearings and video conference settings with judges, and sometimes even witness testimony and exhibits. It's a changing world, but the family courts are trying to adapt.
And during COVID-19, a lot of people are furloughed or have had job loss. How does that affect issues, especially, say, with spousal support or child support, that sort of thing?
Well, it obviously is a difficult environment to understand predictability of income in some industries. So the courts typically look at income historically and predict income for the future, even when somebody has lost their job, thinking, okay, this person is highly qualified, he or she is going to get another job in the same field, and I'm gonna average out their income and predict for the future, even if they're laid off or furloughed. This is a little more significant of a disruption, so it's a real challenge for the courts to determine whether or not support should be reduced. Typically, support is reduced if somebody's unemployed for a long period of time.
So what is the process? If they've already gone through the whole process, they're paying child support and they do get furloughed or laid off, what's the process to get the support reduced or changed?
Anybody can file what's called a motion to modify the decree of divorce or the prior order that orders support. When that motion is filed, the court is going to want to hear, and the parties are going to want to share, historical information as well as data about future prospects. It's not automatically reduced when you lose your job, but it is typically reduced if you have an extended period of unemployment.
Sam, you've been doing this for a long time. You've dealt with a lot of couples who have been through these difficult times of a divorce, separation, that sort of thing. And now with the COVID-19 on top of it, what's your advice? What do you say to people that may be struggling and may be considering divorce during these times?
Well, if you're able, transparency with your spouse, even if you're going to divorce them, is the best, if that's possible. Sometimes it's not. Transparency and the assistance of a legal professional for both of you is always a good idea, because a legal professional can calm things down and give you the data of what it is like to go through a divorce. I also always recommend a mental health provider to assist the individuals and or the couple together in dealing with some of the emotional issues in the divorce, because that can keep your legal fees down and the conflict can be lessened.
Great advice, great information. Thank you for making some time to answer our questions today, Sam. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That's going to do it for this episode of Ask the Lawyer. My guest has been Austin attorney Sam Bassett. Don't forget, if you want the best information or you'd like to be able to choose a lawyer that lawyers choose, make sure to go to askthelawyer.com. Also, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe by clicking on the buttons below so you'll know about future episodes. Thanks for watching. I'm Rob Rosenthal with AskTheLawyers.com.